Hello and welcome to this 1v1 game played on Cliff Duel between the new Paris div played by AgZa. He's in the top 100, I think. He's going up against DustinEchoes, who's about rank 100, although it is going up. So we'll go through the deck reviews, then we'll talk about the map, the matchup, the deployments of the game, and as always, timestamps in the description. Right, so this is the deck review for DustinEchoes. He is playing first UK Armoured. I have a comprehensive guide. It's almost 3 hours long telling you how to build this div. So the only thing that would change from that is that instead of the seed, these days I bring the rocket plane because the seeds had a lot of problems with it. But yeah, there's a lot of differences here. I don't want to just like retread, like you should really just watch this. At least watch the deck build part, because it's like 20 minutes long, it goes through everything, why it's all there. The only thing I've changed since then is that I swapped out the seed plane for the rocket plane. But only having one card of fighters on this div is really rough. You probably want 2 cards of fighters and the rocket plane because your AA sucks. The Javelin LML's terrible, so don't bother with that. Most of the rest of it's the same. There's no Challenger Mark 2s, he's gone for 2 cards of Mark 9s instead. And the whole point is that, yeah, you're spamming out the Warrior Pleats. You want at least 1 card of the Satchels, the Assault Pioneers. The Assault Pioneers, Carl Gustav, don't have the bloody... it's not the HE Carl Gustav that the Canadians get, right? So, you're the regular one. I bring this as a Milan 1 instead of a Milan 2. I don't think you need the Terrier Paris Carl Gustav because you've got forward deployed guys here and you've got forward deployed AT here. I wouldn't upvet that. Yeah, stuff like that, and then that lets you get the MMG team so you can cover some ground, and so on, and so on, and so on. Like, okay, so you're going to spend 1,100, 1,600 something. You're going to spend like 2,000 points on bombers? Probably not, right? Oh, well, you might do, but you should probably lose that game. So, I don't want to spend ages on it because the answers are all here, right? So just watch that. Now, his opponent is playing the new Paris div. Now, what do you know? I've got a guide on that as well. It's almost like I'm making these for some reason, so I don't have to just say the same thing over and over and over and over again. So, yeah, I recommend watching that. Definitely the 3 cards of fight is very much needed on this div. I do prefer to lean into the air spam a bit more. I think these 106 SR things are terrible. I just don't want to say the same thing over and over. I've noticed both players don't bother bringing mortars, even though they're the best they've ever been, which is weird in my opinion. And yeah, so the answers are all there, bros. Let's watch the game. Right, so with that out of the way, I was quite surprised by how little artillery both players are bringing. You've got like 1 card each. Especially on a map like Cliff, obviously you don't know what you're going to get in ranked, but since the RT rework, you can't just have like well, I suppose you still can have a tiny little bit of artillery and focus on the ground game, but like mortars are so useful. I don't understand why people don't use them more. I literally say it twice a day, every day. So looking at the deployments, right, generally the way you play this map is as blue, you should focus, on this bad side. What most people see as the bad side, you should take this, and then it suddenly becomes a good side, because, like, so you start with this, basically, right, and then if you can take these buildings, well, they can't reinforce here, so you own this zone now, unless they're going to go all the way around and all this. It's much easier for you to sort them out than it is for them to sort you out. And if you own all these buildings, well, you own, like, 80, you've got fire control on, like, 80% of this zone. The only place they can be is in this little forest here. At which point, you're deploying your units in, because they'll have, fire here and so on. So you deploy your units here, and then you move them across through the buildings into the forest. So that's how you play it. And if you don't do that, you're not in for a good time, frankly, because what, you're going to attack over here, where you've got this massive open field, and the enemy gets the town bit. I believe you get to this building at the same time, but the enemy can easily push you out of there, and then, oh, big open field, you're fucked, right? How are you going to get in here? This big open field or this big open field? Or are you going to just slowly go through here, show up in here, and then fight across this gap where they've got buildings, you've got forests, so they're winning? So or you can do what most people do, which is they just charge down, and yeah, if you can get a unit into this building, great, right? And then they just fight in this open field, and it is open. I know it doesn't look like it, but this isn't cover, even though it is. It's not classed as cover. Look, I can see through it. So you're fighting in an open field, even though it doesn't look like one, and the enemy's fighting in all these tall buildings and forests. So you have to do this by process of elimination. Anyway, Epigen are really good. So, and he's sending them mostly to the right places, right? At least he's got one here. I'd put a second one there and just try and sort this out. Yeah, some Milan 1s, the CV, couple Giggin. They don't have AT, right? The Giggin. Watch that guide if you want proper Paris guide. Otherwise, we'll just talk about it as we play, because, you know, there tends to be a lot of dead time in games, so spending too much time on the deployments means I've got less to talk about when I need to fill that time, basically. So, switching to his opponent, we've got, yeah, Terrier Paris Carl Gustave, I'm not really a fan of, personally. He has airborne forward deployment, and his opponent doesn't. I know it's heresy to say this, but the British div's actually a lot better than the French div. But on this map, the French div's got a pretty good chance, because it's got a lot of infantry, and, you know, this is an infantry area. So, some SAS patrol, right? And then, hopefully, yeah, so Milan 2. He doesn't bring the MMG teams, which are super useful on maps like these, because you just put them everywhere, right? It's useful on every map, in my opinion. Some Para Rover Milans, I'd put that on an attack fast move order, because what if you run into somebody there? Well, you're just going to drive straight, and you're not going to shoot him, and he's going to shoot you, so... CV, second CV, let's cast the game. Right, so they're off. It's time for me to thank the generous channel joiners, generously joining the channel. They get the names on the screen, they get the videos early, they get members exclusive videos. One join at the lowest levels worth 2,000 views. If you feel bad about your ad block, it's a great way to support the channel. Otherwise, please just like the video, it's free. You can also check out my game, Hearse Hero, on Steam. Channel joiners get a key if they bother me in the Discord, or if they fill out the form, but I don't check the form as much as I check the Discord, so if you want it fast, I'd bother me in the Discord, which is also linked in the description. I get people saying, hey, do you have a Discord? I say, check the description. It's strange, you know, I guess it's because, like, people skip through bits of the video and stuff. Like, there are things that I answer in the videos as well that people ask me. Like, well, why didn't he do this? Well, look, I talked about that. Did you not watch? And... you know, if it was just you and me, like one-on-one, just talking to each other or whatever, you know, I'd be happy to explain it again. But there's like 2,000 of you watching every video, which I'm very grateful for, but it means I can't really do things like that. Nobody is hitting here. And these guys missed 5 shots, and then the Giggin shot them to death with the MP5. Might have something to do with the fact that he kept moving back through the smoke, which gives him 10% accuracy, right? These Epigen guys are really good. You see how fast he's killing that? It's one of the few things about the division that's actually good. I was talking to somebody about that. Oh, they were trying to convince me that it should be nerfed. And it's like, what? It's like one of the few parts of the division that's good. Why do you want to nerf it? It's very strange the way some people think. Anyway, this fight is proceeding. An AVRE is a good shout, that is correct. But he doesn't bring the satchels. For whatever reason, Dustin does not bring the satchels. So he's gonna... suffer that consequence. I'd get 6 Gazelle rockets out here, maybe. Oh, I suppose this would shoot you. And, yeah, you see, this is just, like, so if you've only got 1, you should probably put it there. Because it can cover all this, and it can cover these 2 roads. Whereas if you put it here, well, you've not covered this. I didn't kill him. Yeah, so basically, Paris's main advantage, which people want to nerf because yeah, he's not capping that. I don't know. Is air spam, right? And First UK doesn't really have great AA. You notice the Gazelle rockets are doing a bit, but he's going to have to get the hell out of there, otherwise this is going to start killing him. It's at 2 there, so he's got time here. He can leave. He's just not pressing anything, so he's going to die. Okay. I mean, he's really giving him as many chances as possible. Wow, he gets out, because it just missed like 3 times in a row. Okay. Yeah, I mean... If you're the red player and you see this happening, you know something's up, right? You know you got to put something in here, because why else? What's going on there? You're probably about to get hit by a plane. You shouldn't just sit in enemy vision. So... yeah, this is working, and it's like, yeah, well, Hippie, you said they should do something else. Well, yeah, they should. So, if you play suboptimally, all your units don't suddenly explode and you lose the game. You know, there is some nuance to it, right? But yes, this is the issue with fighting on this bit, that the blue guy is gonna have, you know, his CV in this little bit, and then just like one mortar can sort that out. It just sets up and just starts shooting, and it will eventually force him to move. Or you can buy a plane, right? But yeah, the first UK player decided to bring only...
Hello, I
that
like
didn't have to
money.
happen.
Neo_ subscribed to the channel.
Thanks, Neo_. He's still not sorted this out. He could have had both of these zones by now. He only brought one card of fighters, and he didn't bring the rocket Jaguar, which can help as well with, you know, like sort of light AA, I suppose you could class it as. So, yeah, I mean, you would assume he'd use a bomber on this, because, like, what's he doing? He's just... So he knows it's here, and he's driving into it anyway. I suppose, yeah, he's waiting for something to happen. Yeah, exactly. Use this on... Exactly, right. So the main advantage of Paris is that the bombers reload every 60 seconds, which means you can... if it doesn't get wounded, right. But the thing is, Paris itself is very vulnerable to helicopters, as we saw there, and enemy air spam, because you don't get man pads, and you only get one card of Crotals, and your fighters, while one card does have 40% ECM, the missiles on them are very bad. So you see, but this thing I think sucks, but I mean, obviously if you're a... Yeah, because look, then he would unload and kill you, but obviously if you know, if your opponent's busy sniffing glue or whatever, no, he figured it out. So I don't think they're very good. I don't think they're a waste of a slot. So yeah, what he could have done there is tried to get behind the building, but chances are he still would have died. But, you know, if you try to move out of the way, get behind someone, break LOS, fast move down the road and then stop once the bombs are off, you might make it. I mean, chances are you wouldn't there because it's only got one top armor, but it is fast, so... So, yeah, first UK's fighters are good. So if you bring 2 cards of the Tornadoes, you should have no problem beating Paris's planes. Obviously, a lot of it's like RNG and stuff. It's hard to... I've got like PTSD from bad RNG in previous games. This isn't helping at all. So, yeah, that was very unfortunate. He just wasn't looking right. So this is the... There's 2 parts to the game. One is the knowledge, and if you're watching Hippie videos, your knowledge should be... Depends how many you've watched and how much attention you're paying and so on. Generally, your knowledge should be good, right? Is that another one he's bought? This is a 4-minute reload. Yeah, you see... So if... It's got to be right on that line. Is he just going to try and rush the AA? Yeah, he is. It's going to work. Typically, you'd buy all 6 of these at once. And yeah, this, you up there. Honestly, watch the Paris guide. But yes, you can see it's bad. He's got a CV in here. Honestly, you just need to get into that building and... Well, you might still not be able to see it. But yeah, you could definitely sort this out. Send him across and then up through the forest and see what's what. Your infantry, you're decent in forest compared to, you know, most vehicles. So... Just comes down to RNG now. I assume it's going to die. Oh, okay. Okay. So yeah, this should come and hit the ATGM positions. But the... Okay, that's a... Yeah, so the first UK player shouldn't really be air spamming at this point in the game, in my opinion. Because... Like, yes, buy the fighters, by all means, have both fighters out. But your bombers are, like, way more expensive than the enemy bombers. And the reload times are longer. So it changes the use case. right? If I buy a bomber for 175 points and I know I can use it every single minute until it gets hit by something, which should be pretty fast, but obviously it depends on your opponent, how much AA he's brought. You'll notice there's no track rapiers here, but he's got the javelins and he's got the fighter, so I think that's fine, as long as he's always got a fighter up. That's a different use case to I'm going to spend more than 1 full minute's income on a bomber and it's going to come back in 6 minutes, or 4 minutes, was it? So yeah, warrior appliques are quite cool because they've got 4 armor instead of 3, so they survive 1 shot from a Milan 1, and they've got a Milan 2 on them. First UK is actually a good division. It's a very well designed division in that it has clear strengths and weaknesses, as does Paris. But First UK is stronger. So yeah, I mean, he needs to get like another warrior applique up here. He's got strikers in his deck, so... But you know, this all comes down to just where he put that rover. Unironically. Also, yeah, you don't want to put these near each other because one... Yeah, do you notice how it suppresses both of them as well? Like, they're all going to die now. So, I mean, it might miss. Okay, it just missed, and then it gets stunned, and... Okay. This is why it's hard to give predictions, because there's a lot of RNG. Oh, he lost vision because that died. Oh, he just got it back. So I guess that's dealing 1 damage per hit. Listen, you gotta make it so it can't see you, because otherwise you're gonna get hit by... Oh, but then now this guy can... No, he can't see him, but he might still get him because... Yeah, he'd already lost some HP, and he was, you know, within splash. So yeah, something like this is decent for covering this ground. But this all comes down to where the rover was. You see how small mistakes can build up into really big mistakes in this game. But sadly that means the RNG matters a lot as well. I'm very surprised by how long it's taken AgZa to sort out these zones. It's taken him 11 minutes to not cap this zone. And he's just stood there, and he didn't cap this one for about 3 or 4 either, so... He's a pretty good player. Last time I played against him, he had a go at me because I was playing Österland Commando. So I probably deserved it, to be honest. My excuse was that I was making it for a guide. I was playing Österland Commando for a guide. But you'll notice there's no Österland Commando guide, so... It's not a good excuse, is it? It's because I was waiting for the changes, because you've seen it, they've changed it a lot now. Their tanks are more expensive, but they shoot further, so it's probably still just as busted. Well, okay, they nerfed the air tab, which was the main thing. You could have made that take longer by smoking it, but it still would have eventually died. So this is the sort of thing you use that line bomber on. You just come in from this way, and you hit it in a line. Is that happening right now? It is. It is, but he's not taking full advantage of the line. Typically, you know, you've got seed planes, so one of those should be a seed plane, but... Like, air spamming with such expensive air is, Somebody want to explain that one to me? Why is he going there? I assumed the plan was to get over here, and he just kind of misclicked or something. Anyway, this looks like it's going to be one of those games where... Because, like, he's not on a tick. Although he should be. I assume the Paris player is going to keep layering. Like, he's got this position... Imagine if that entire attack had taken place here. Wouldn't he be in such a better position now? Wouldn't he be in such a better position now? Rather than attacking over this open field into a bunch of guys in buildings. Do you see what I mean? He would own this. He would probably be in here, because there's nothing there. Obviously, you know, Dustin would reinforce this instead of reinforcing this, and so on, and so on. But a lot of the advice I give is about how to best maximize your chances for success, right? So what else can I do? In a game that's so full of RNG, I can't say do this, you'll win every time, because that's just not how it works. This has lost an HP, so I think that'll kill it. Yeah. Like, it goes down to, like, you should have recon, you know, and it's like, well, my recon died. Well, buy more. Also, once you've capped this zone, you shouldn't be sat there. You should get the guy out, because he knows where you're going to be. Even if, I mean, he could just see you there, especially with this. But, like, you know, where are you going to hide? You're just there, right? Well, that would see you anyway. There's no way you can hide. Once you cap it, you need to leave. But yeah, we were talking about how there's the knowledge aspect, which I think if you watch these videos, you'll get many knowledges, right? Especially if you're paying attention. I know a lot of people have it just like in the background and stuff. I get it, right? You don't have to try hard at Warno and become the best Warno, but I'm just saying. And then the second one is the application of the knowledge. So you get some people and like, yeah, I don't. It's a small community, so if I give any sort of specific evidence, it'll just be so obvious who I'm talking about. But there are people who think they know a lot because they have the knowledge. Or you don't want them that. Stop it! Stop blobbing! So if you were to, oh, I really need to strafe that helo, well, then you'd send the planes in from different angles so that they're only, unless the Crotal hits them right when they're hitting the plane or the helo or whatever, then they're not both getting suppressed by the same thing. Because now he's only brought 2 fighters, so it depends how much attention Blue's paying here. He now knows that both of his fighters are repairing, so they're going to be down for like 5 minutes. Well, what does that mean? It means it's open season on the Air Force. Send all the bombers out, kill as much as you can. So yeah, you do get players who, well, I guess they're not players, this is my whole point. And they, you know, they try and pass judgment, and, you know, everybody's entitled to their opinion and so on. But basically, the knowledge is half the battle, right? You actually have to apply it. And if you don't apply it, then you don't understand the game. I mean, you understand it to an extent. It's... What analogy can I give for this? Imagine if you watched the London Marathon every year, right? If you're not in the UK, you don't know what that is. It's a marathon in London. Right, does that make you good at marathons? Well, you know the course, right? You know everything about the course, maybe every twist and turn, and you know what everybody should be drinking and eating and preparing. You know who all the good players are, right? You know the matchups, right? I guess it's not really you know, they don't fight each other or anything. You know how long it should take people to do specific things on the course, right? I should be at this point by this time. But until you run the marathon, you're not good at marathons, right? Do you understand? So it's just something to keep in mind. Now, of course, everybody, like, there's always so much time in the day, right? So, you know, I pass judgment on, I suppose, like, politics would be a big one, right? Everybody's got a political opinion. Are you a politician? No, shut up. Do you know what I mean? So, he didn't have the fighters. He did bring the seed, though, you know, but he didn't have the fighters, so that was good from AgZa. And to be honest, like, Dustin's buying way too many planes. He lost so much there. And there's just no reason for him to be buying them. And he just flew over the part of the map with the most AA. I guess these hadn't really fired before, but basically the AA tends to be in the middle. So that's why, like, playing combat around here, well, that works really well, because there's not going to be that much AA. Whereas if you fly your plane over the middle of the map, you're going to get shot down. So, well, unless you're like, you could scout with the seed first, and, well, I don't know, who's shooting me, you know? Maybe hit a couple Crotals or whatever. But yeah, Blue's on a +1. It's mainly because Red is just monging out. So as soon as he sorts this out, he's taking the long way on purpose so he can lose as many points as possible. And then, like, no MMG teams. Imagine if you had those in these buildings, be able to do stuff, right? And you need recon. Like, where's the recon? But Blue is doing the thing that I said. I mean, I get the impression it's not like a concerted, I must do this thing. It's just because he tried it here, and he tried it here, and now he's tried it here, right? So he's eventually sort of realised, through process of elimination, that, oh shit, yeah, I've got actually a pretty big advantage here, haven't I? Especially once I get an ATGM in here, because so many of the reinforcements that you path to here will try and cross that bridge. which is so annoying. At which point you can shoot them all down, so isn't that wonderful? But yeah, Dustin's just basically playing CV whack-a-mole. Like another thing, so you've got units here, right? There you go, he got him with the bomber, I guess, but... So, something like that, right? You know there's loads of AA there. You know there's loads of enemy planes up. I mean, he did actually make it, but... Like, why... So I gotta kill it right now. Why? Why not just buy the arty piece? Right, you're here. There's really nowhere else he could be, right? You know why you could see him. And just hit him with the arty. The arty remains relevant. You could deal with this Milan that keeps killing all your guys. That is such an annoying part about this map, this bridge. Because everything you tell to go here will cross that bridge. Even though it takes longer, it just decides that's the best route. And it's also more exposed. So yes, if you're on the blue side, you need to abuse that, because the red side does have an advantage, because he basically gets this zone for free. Like, it's very hard to contest this. I mean, he tried, and it went exactly how you'd expect. MMG team's super useful on this map. I bring the other ones, the reservist ones, at no vet. So that cluster's just waiting for this to come in, isn't it? He really needs a tracked rapier at this point, because you could put it like there or something, and it would be able to help out. Especially given how he treats his fighters. Is he just not looking? It's a shame, you know, he could have killed that. He knows where it's coming in, he knows where it's going to be. Like, he probably can't see it exactly, but you can basically see most of the rest of the zone. So where's it going to be? I mean, he's just not paying attention. Assault Pioneers, Carl Gustav, we've been over this. They're really not very good, but since the shock changes, they're not just like a, I'm throwing. They're actually okay now because of the shock. I still prefer the Assault Pioneers because, you know, the point is that this is like a hybrid anti-infantry, anti-tank. Right? But if I want a hybrid... Well, I've got rifles for anti-tank, and they're still decent against infantry. And so I just want a good anti-infantry, which would be the Assault Pioneers at 1 vet. It depends on your micro. If you're the sort of guy who is always like, damn, I forgot to bring the AT. So these can one-shot the... So now you need to move all of these, right? Just move them a little bit. To be honest, they should be closer to this. So that goes there, this goes here, this goes there. Because then they will shoot faster, right? Because if you're AgZa in this case, you should immediately be artying all those manpad positions. I mean, he's going for the towers and he's getting stuff. It's hard to see the man unless you're like there looking at it when it fires. It's hard to tell exactly, like, especially if it's somewhere like this. You're like, oh, which building was it? So he probably thought it was this one. So, yeah, I mean, blue is making a comeback. It just comes down to red being like, I'm going to spend all my money on planes. And then, you know, well, if the plane's 270 points, this is 40, so you got to kill, what, 6 of them to pay for yourself. No, you still wouldn't. You'd have to kill 7. Well, good luck killing 7 reservist sappers, right? But yeah, it goes down to... So neither player brings mortars. Mortars are so useful now. They were useful before. It's really weird. You see, like, even, like, the top players. These guys are in the top 100, right? But even, like, players who are better than me just, like, never bring arty. And it's because they'd rather focus on the ground micro than, you know, spare some micro for a mortar, I suppose, right? You know, for the top players. You see, these AVREs are proper good, but you need recon. Sadly, he just refuses to buy infantry recon. He's got this, but, like, does he not have scouts? Scouts lore 80 or regular scouts, right? Because all the SAS patrol, unless you already bought all 4 of those and they're all dead. You'd really want some of that, because... Well, you can't see anybody with your AVRE. Your infantry has to get super close before it can shoot. You want to maximize that distance. Like the Zibby, if you put it with it, obviously that helps, but given the terrain, you'd want infantry recon, wouldn't you? You see, the the Bridge of Doom, right? And then, yeah, so this warrior replete can weigh in on this. In fact, it can actually kill everything there. These guys, you know, they'd have to be super close, so... Just drop this back. You gotta watch out for the ATGMs in here, which have gone, right? So you would move the warrior replete around to... Because this can't shoot you from there. You'd move it around to here, and then you'd be able to shoot all these guys. I'd say he's busy looking at the middle, but he's clearly not doing that either, because he's just dropping his units in without unloading them. So yeah, the Mega Javelin firing line, I mean, to be honest, if Blue was a little bit smarter about this, he'd be back in this way, but this one would definitely still shoot him, right? You would basically have to ensure that you come in from this way, hit it, and evac this way. And you'd take 2 hits instead of 3, but well, guess what? You need 3 hits to die. So yeah, instead of... Oh, he's actually got some, he's just not using it. So now he's sending another plane. Well, why, man? It's got 1 top armor, right? And you've got Artie. I guess that's on counter battery. He's probably not going to kill him anyway. Oh, no, never mind. I thought, because basically if you start moving after the bombs have dropped, then obviously the predictive targeting doesn't... so there goes, you know, 275 points for that CV. What happened to his fighters anyway? Surely they've repaired by now. It's been a very long time. So if you sent it out now, you'd get 2 kills. Well, they've got 40% ECM, so you might... Oh, it's not... No, they've got 20. If you sent it out right then, he probably would have got 2 kills, because it's got 8 missiles on it. The Tornado's actually good. Especially since they changed the ranges. So... Yeah, you know, with this, like, yeah, counter battery's nice and so on, and... but you'd want to, at this point, you'd want to be hitting this corner again, right? No, why do that when you can buy some very expensive one-way trips and fly them directly into the enemy air force? I got the CV, though. Arthur Harris to British command after losing 10 million bombers. Bro, killed so many Germans, it was worth it. I guess he's worried there's something there. So look, he did have him, he just wasn't paying attention. So yeah, a lot of it is just practice, right? The knowledge and then the practice, right? And it just comes down to... I mean, I say this so many times because it's my own personal coping strategy to cope with the fact that I'm seeing suboptimal gameplay. Is that, you know, these guys probably have more of a life than me. That's not hard, but... so... Oh, I see. He went halfway this way and then changed his mind to go past this anyway. Okay. This guy really should stop flying over all those javelins. Although they've run out of ammo now, so that's the ultimate strategy. They've all had kills, because look at the vets. Unless he does vet him anyway, he might just vet him anyway. They've only had 1 kill, and it starts at 2 vet maybe. Are there any other javelins? But yeah, if you're Dustin in this case, and you've seen 10 Guerrillian planes fly over here, maybe you should buy a Tracked Rapier, yeah. Because Tracked Rapier does 6 damage, Javelin does 4 damage. 6 plus 4 is 10. Yeah. So, yeah, if I was in AgZa's position, I basically would have started the game here, which means I would have been in this position about 20 minutes ago. And then, yeah, you do some light probing attacks into the forest, right? Also, I'd be smoking the crap out of everything, right? So, you want to get these guys close? Well, great, start smoking. And you don't want to clump them like that, because those tornado bombers, of which Dustin has purchased many, may just kill all your units at once. AVRE should slowly be... I mean, it's very slow, so... And yeah, MMG teams, Red, would really appreciate those at the moment. And there's a reason I bring the Milan 1 infantry instead of the Milan 2 infantry on First UK. Because I've got enough Milan 2s on my warrior appliques. And the Milan 1s, you know, they're going to get sniped by RT anyway. They'll be useful against stuff like this. They're a lot cheaper. They come in a Milan 2 transport, so you still get Milan 2s. But yeah, he's just not looking, is he? So those things are going to keep happening. I'm talking more to myself so I don't get upset. It is upsetting to see units die that don't have to die. It's because I care, you know. I care about you, dear viewer. Remember to subscribe. So, you know, maybe unload this instead of driving it into the... Great. So yeah, if you had the Assault Pioneers, they'd be useful in a situation like this. And so on, and so on, and so on. But you can't hear me. And yeah, the Gazelle rockets, you can actually get some decent DPS out if you just, like, yes, immediately land them, and like, which he's done, and then take them off again. And but yeah, that was getting side shot and so on. The Leclerc is decent. It's a shame it didn't get 21 AP, but if it did, it'd be a lot more expensive. If it did, the division would be more competitive in 1v1. But as it stands, it's a very, very unique... Oh, I've got to go, somebody's calling me. It was really important, you know, I'm such an important person, very important. Anyway, bit of an issue with composition here, right? He needs something to kill the tanks with. The Grenadier Voltigeurs, like, they've got nice range on the AT. I suppose the Milan 1 is actually in a... Yeah, it can shoot all the way down there. But you see, you know, once you take this, it's easy to get in because you can get the infantry in. So this is a big deal, and you should do that whenever you play the map. Obviously, it's rough giving people advice that they then use against me, but that's the way the cookie crumbles. That's, what's the plan here? Get shot, I guess. There's like a bomber coming in, and he's... Yeah, okay, I figured maybe there's a bomber coming in, and he's going for the crow... No, he's going for the CV. You really want to focus the enemy AA. Obviously, if the AA decides to drive into the bombs, that's nice, but he didn't get anything, so... if I was in his situation, I would have gone for that Crotal, this one, after it shot the Gazelles, because the other one's moving, it's, you know, it might make it and so on. And this one, he didn't see because it didn't shoot. So yeah, it would be good for AgZa to resupply that. So, yeah, the Leclerc, basically, in Red Dragon, it's got 21 pen, and it's also got crazy armor. It would have been cool to have 21 pen, but as it stands, there's no tank in the game like this. Whereas if it was at 21 pen, it would still be unique. You know, because of the armor profile and everything and the rate of fire. But it would be less unique than it is now, and it would cost more. So it's, it just depends what you're in for. It would be better for the div, though, if it was 21 pen. Obviously, the price would go up, but then it would have a heavy-hitting tank. So it doesn't change too much either way in terms of variety, but it is what it is. It's 18, so... And just really thinks there's somebody there. I don't know if, like, Dustin wants to do something about these ATGMs. That, you know, in these buildings. I guess he just hit this one with the bomber, right? But right, so now you would go forwards into the smoke and cap it, or... Okay, I guess you could do that. It's just going to take a little bit longer. That was a side shot. Yeah, he's just driving forwards. Why? Nobody knows. Any infantry recon so you can see something? Nah, I don't need that. Just kill me! Kill me! Hello? Don't let me win! But, I thought that was an attack move then, and then it wouldn't get in the zone, but... Yeah, it does make you think a bit. Imagine if you had those MMG teams, you know, a couple in here, well, all this wouldn't be able to stand there, would it? And they're the sort of things that, yeah, the Arty can hit it all day, but you got so many of them, they're so cheap. Something is happening. I'm surprised these haven't died. Although, to be honest, given he's up against Crotals, like, one of them will come back. The other one, I think, will only come back right at the end of the game, if it goes the full distance. Now, looking at how these players are playing... Kill me! Kill me! There's a building right here, but I don't want to be inside it, because that would make me die less. I need to die more. It's the spirit of Elan, bro. You just gotta walk forwards and die. That's what Napoleon was all about. So yeah, once Red took this, you should really try and get a unit in there. so that this doesn't happen. Just an idea. So another one-way trip has been deployed, but his opponent has not... He's only resupplied one of his Crotals, so... He's just going to run out of CVs at this rate. Can't remember how... No, he brings loads. He has like 8. So... He's got at least 1 left. I think he's got at least 1 more he could buy. Because in terms of the infantry ones... He's put it on an attack mission. Like, do you not... Like, are his fingers really fat or something? Do you understand? Like, you can move forwards without just going here. He did sort it out. He pressed stop, right? And yeah, the RT should really be hammering these positions because, like, look at what it's doing to you. Presumably, you don't like being shot. Although, you know, actions would indicate otherwise. Gonna smoke now, or? So yeah, you would, because you've got 3 here, so you just send that one in, and then, you know, and then, like, why a fast move? Why not into the forest? Why not an attack fast move? What if you run into an enemy? Don't you want to shoot him? But, you know, most of it's there, right? You really have to watch out for this. You actually have to deploy the units to here, otherwise they always come across here, and if your opponent had sussed this out, then he would have replaced the ATGM that was here, and he'd be killing all these, so... You know, put something bigger there in land 2, maybe. But yeah, you need some infantry recon. You can see this, because that's right there. And that is a big kill, frankly. He's not... He could have got out if he... Just doesn't want to shoot the right guy, because it's just on an attack move order, so it's not... So he just gets nothing, and then he gets shot a bit more on the bridge. Yeah! Wow! Guys, I'm almost there. Don't worry, the reinforcements are here. As if he's literally called fat and he's blocking the bridge. That's hilarious. Anyway. Yeah, so, I mean, Blue has a chance of winning, although I'm getting the impression this is his last CV, otherwise, like, where's the CV? Also, well, okay, so you know this is that, so you would move this up to here, and send the Scimitar in, and have the Sultan behind it. Scimitar gets shot? Okay, no bueno, we go do something else, but this is, like, what is this for? If they're coming down this road, don't you want to be in the cover? Like, even this cover, or even this cover, shoot them in the back or something. So you just park it in the middle of the... It's obviously hard to micro many units over the course of 40 minutes. But you gotta think, why am I doing this? And maybe you don't have a good reason to play Warno, and you should stop and go do your homework or whatever, but... and, you know, Same story. Do I need 4 Milan 2s here? Yes or no? Maybe you do. Generally speaking, yes, you'd want... Great, he's finally getting those up. You maybe want to buy 1 or 2, and the others should be infantry to replace the infantry. It all just comes down to practice. So, yeah, I mean, 2 minutes left. As long as this gets in, although given how many Milan 2s are, I might not. And he's like very committed to going the way where he gets shot as opposed to the way where he doesn't. I suppose because he assumes, I mean, well, rightfully so, there is infantry anti-tank there. The other thing you can do is use your artillery to just fire smoke there, and then you would definitely get it. Or, you know, you could just get shot by as many Milans as you want. Well, now what? This is here. Does he know about this? That's another thing you could do. He's deliberately sending it on the road so it can get shot. What I was trying to explain to you is if it's here, you could send it across, and then you could hide it behind one of these buildings. Now, it's hard to tell because I can't zoom in on the building exactly, but basically, only the Milan one that was formerly there would have been able to shoot at it. I suppose this is hit too, but if you're hiding right behind the building, it wouldn't be able to get you. It's got its own smoke, so it could fast move down here, smoke there, get in, right? Or you could... Oh, he's doing it! He's bought another one as well, so he might actually get in. His opponent's out of CVs. It's obvious because why isn't he buying any, right? I mean, you know, maybe he chooses not to buy one, but you can see that the Leclerc can actually really stand up for itself. It's mainly because the ATGMs are helping out, and yeah, he should have some warrior appliques here helping out. He should have restocked this and so on. Oh, he's doing the thing, but now isn't the smoke in the wrong place? Well, a little bit, but not, you know, you'll still cover it. So, yeah, I guess he's just gonna play it out. He can't win, like, because that would be 40 more points, or like 30 more points on a +1, even if this didn't get in. So, even if this didn't happen, it wouldn't... I mean, it looks really funny, he's trying to find the CV in the smoke. You can play the clown music, right? So there you go. Rank 119 versus... It should be 117 because, you know, Halo, haha, yes, haha. AgZa rank 80. Used to be higher, I think he's been playing Paris. Playing Paris makes your rank go down. So, yeah, the Paris div is fun, it's well designed. It's just it has certain weaknesses that other divs... So, like, First UK is also weak against enemy air spam because it has poor ground AA. And it has air spam. But then all the other tabs, it has advantages, like its arty's better. It has manpads. It gets better tanks. Well, okay. Tanks are pretty similar. It's infantry, you know, it gets IFVs with Milan 2s and stuff. And so you do arrive in these, like, so to make well-designed divisions, well, that, you know, you don't want everything to just be the same, right? There's a push. It's like, well, ooh, air spam should be nerfed because some divs struggle against it. It's like, well, but then you're just making all the divs the same. If you just remove all the extreme cases, what do you get? You get a slow convergence towards the mean. And that is boring. So you're just naturally going to get matchups where some divs are better, some divs are worse, and there's just going to be certain divisions, like Paris does have certain divs it's really good against. It's just the First UK is better against more divs than Paris is. Anyway, I'll see you around, GG. That's not me farting, it's somebody driving a motorbike past my house, which they constantly do.